Hello and welcome everyone to the Introduction to Discon class. Today I'm going to show you how to use probably the most useful tool in if that you will use all the time, especially if you are after some PvP. We will cover what is the directional scanner, how to use it, what are the main settings and tricks to get the most out of a directional scanner, what are the most common uses of this scan, and I will show how to apply all of these concepts in a short practical demonstration. So after this lecture, I will also go to my if client and I will show you how to open this scan, how to set it up properly, and how to use it within the game. If you have any questions, then please ask them in the Classroom Alpha Discord channel, and I will answer them as I go during this presentation. So let's start with what is DScan. DScan is the short for Directional Scanner. This is the Intel tool that is built into every ship and pod. You can think of it as the so-called space radar. It shows you all the objects within a certain radius. The maximum radius is 14.3 AU, and if you want, then you can ask the DScan to show you all the objects within the entire sphere, which is 360-degree angle, or at a much shorter angle if you want to check a specific planet or any other object in space. The DScan is linked to your overview presets, so it will show you only the objects that your overview shows. For example, if your overview shows Rex, then the DScan will show Rex as well. If your overview shows combat probes, then your DScan will show combat probes, and so on. So it's very important to have your overview properly preset to get the information that you expect to get from the directional scanner. We will talk about it in more detail later. There are a couple of benefits for directional scanner. It has no skill requirements. Any character can use it as efficiently as possible. It doesn't matter if your character is old or like 1 day old, if it's an omega or if it's an alpha. It doesn't matter. Every character has the same access and the same functionality of this directional scanner tool. Directional scanner provides a ton of information about what's going on in the system, what ships are around, what objects are around in space, and as I said before, you will use it a lot to get a better understanding of what's going on in the system. It also works even if you are cloaked, so you can use it as an intel tool in some scouting ships to get the idea of where the enemies are and where the objects of interest are in the system. There are a couple of limitations. As I said, the DScan is limited to 14.3 AU maximum range. So in some short systems, you will have a pretty good idea of what's going on just from clicking on the full range, full angle DScan. But there are very large systems like Fera, for example, that are like hundreds of AU in radius. And in these systems, the DScan will give you only a very limited picture of what's actually going on in the system, because you will see only a very small portion of it. It can't see cloaked or immune ships. By immune ships, I mean combat recons. These are the special class of electronic warfare ships that are immune to discon. So you will see them on the overview, but you will not see them on the discon. These are Curse, Lachesis, Hugin, and Rook. So one ship for every race. And discon, unlike overview or prop scanner window, will not provide you the warping coordinates. So you cannot use directional scanner to warp to the object. You can only use it to see if this object is present within the specified range and angle, but you cannot warp to it. How to set it up? It's pretty simple. On the main interface of your ship, there is a radar-like icon. You click on it, and then you have sort of a drop-down menu. On the left, there is a prop scanner window. At the bottom is the map, solar system map, and on the right is the directional scanner. So you click on this icon, and then you click on the icon that is on the right, and it will open the discon window. It is very much advised to bind the discon activation window to a shortcut because you will use the discon all the time usually, and it's just much easier to click on the hotkey than to move your mouse and activate it manually. And you can set it in the settings, shortcuts, and window tab. If you open the discon for the very first time, it will open together with the solar system map, and it will look like this. Generally, you want to detach the directional scanner from the solar system map, because usually you use directional scanner separately from the solar system map. So to do that, you click on this icon and then click detach or something like this. I will show you in if how it's called. And then you can move this window, the directional scanner window, around and place it somewhere convenient. This is how it's usually done. It's important that you do not cover your overview window, because these two things are like completely separate UI elements. The overview window shows you what's going on the grid, and it shows your warpable objects in the system. So you can warp around using the overview. The directional scanner is the UI element that shows you what's going on outside of your grid, and it doesn't allow you to warp using the directional scanner results. And in addition, you need to understand what's going on, what settings are currently active in your overview to properly interpret the results of the directional scanner window. So usually people have just these two windows side by side or on top of each other to quickly go back and forth. This is one of the examples of how you can set up discon and your overview tab. After you opened the directional scanner and moved it to some convenient place in your UI, check what settings are currently in use by the discon. By default, it should be active overview filters. So directional scanner in this situation will show you the objects that are present on the overview. But you can change it here. There are a bunch of directional scanner presets. For example, you can show only drones, or you can show like a mining stuff, or you can show Rex, and so on. Or if you want to check what objects are present in the system, you can also change your overview presets by just moving to a different tab. both will work fine, and depends on your preference. Also check the range and the angle. By default, it should be the maximum range and the maximum angle, which are 14.3 AU for range and 360 degrees for the angle. And once you're happy with all the settings, you can click on Scan, and the directional scanner will show you the objects that satisfy the selected filters and the settings on range and angle. And if you want a different result, then you need to change some of the settings and click on the scan again. Directional scanner does not update automatically. Every time you want a new result, you need to update the scan, either via the hotkey or by just clicking on this scan button. Important to know that directional scanner does not differentiate ship states, so it will not be able to tell you if ships that you see on the DScan are hostile or friendly. In the overview, this will highlight by like purple, green, red, orange, depending on the overview settings, but in DScan it does not differentiate between it. If you just hit DScan while two fleets are fighting, it will just show you the list of all the ships that are currently fighting, and it will not show you which of them are friendly and which is hostile. And DScan will also show you ships that are unpiloted, so you can eject from your ship and it will just stay in space, which is quite common under POSes. People often leave some space junk under POS force field, and the DScan will also show these unmanned ships, and you will not be able to differentiate between like a manned ship or unmanned ship. And as I said several times, it's important to set up overview properly, because if it's not set up properly, then the DScan will either miss some important information, which is automatically filtered out by the overview, or otherwise will show you a bunch of junk that will be difficult to analyze and interpret. The easy way to set up the overview properly is to install the If University overview. There is a link here, and you can just Google If University overview and you will find the If Uni wiki page with very detailed instructions on how to do it. It's pretty simple. It takes like just a couple of clicks. Let's talk about the practical uses of the directional scanner. How do you typically adjust the settings, and how do you interpret the results? If you need to visualize what area the DScan covers, you can open it together with a solar system map. To do this, you want to click on this icon, which is next to the presets, which is marked 1 here, and it will open the solar system map. And then you need to click on the second icon, which will also show you the current active area which is covered by the DScan. In this case, it's the sphere, 360-degree angle, with a radius of 13.1 AU. And this is how it looks on the solar system map. So every object that is inside this sphere will be displayed in the directional scanner window. And there are a couple of settings that you may or may not find useful on the solar system map itself. As I said, the green sphere shows the active area for the DScan. the crosshair marker shows the location of your ship, which is essentially, in this case, the center of a sphere. You can align the camera from top down or from the side on view, and you can also just rotate it with your mouse. And you can focus current location. So if you moved your camera somewhere and you just want to focus the solar system map at your ship, when you click on this button, which is marked free, and you can show or hide markers on the solar system map. I will check the questions very quickly. Can you change overview and discount to show different things? Yes, you can. If you want to separate the overview and discount, you need to go in the directional scanner filters. This is this part, 176 filtered, none in brackets. So you click here, and when you select one of the presets that you want to see on the discount, and in this case, directional scanner will show you objects according to the selected filters and not according to the overview filters. But my advice is once you are done checking things that you wanted to check, is to move back to the active overview filters, because generally you want to you do not want to keep track of the directional scanner preset. You just want to assume the directional scanner is tied to the overview filters, which is just easier for you, and it will kind of prevent you from making some mistakes. Default key for me is Alt plus V to open it and then V to rescan. Yeah, I think so. Usually people change it to something else. For me, for example, it's the tilde, and many prefer to bind it to spacebar, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, let's go back. Let's talk about a couple of settings in the directional scanner window, namely range and angle. You can change the range of your D-scan from like almost 0 to 14.3 AU. You can also set it not in astronomical units but in kilometers, but generally it's easier to use AU as the setting for the range. And you can set angle from 1 to 360. You can change these numbers either by hovering your mouse and using the mouse wheel, or by typing the specific number directly in these fields. If you type a number that is larger than the maximum number allowed, it will default automatically to the maximum number, which is 14.3. Let's talk about angle first. The angle allows you to check not just the entire sphere, but a specific object that is included in the directional scanner angle. So, for example, you want to check what's going on at the specific planet, and the entire sphere, which is 360 degree, will not show you that. It will just show you objects that are present at all planets within the directional scanner range. So let's say you want to check a specific planet, and in this situation the angle is very useful. You can reduce the angle to, let's say, like 5 AU, and then just point your camera at the planet that you want to check. Important to know that directional scanner uses the direction of your camera. so it does not use the direction of your ship. And these two substances can be completely separated. So you can align in one direction and then point your camera in the completely different direction. And directional scanner will use your camera, not the direction of your ship. The way to easily use to easily manipulate the camera is called the tracking camera. You can turn it on with hotkey Shift plus C. I will also show you this during the practical. And if you turn the tracking camera on, every time you click on the object on the overview, the camera will point towards this object. So it makes it relatively simple to use targeted D-scan on a specific object. You simply select 5-degree angle D-scan, and when you click on the object you want to check, the camera automatically turns towards this object, and when you click scan. And directional scanner will show you generally only the objects that are at this object, unless there is something else on this very tiny angle, but it's pretty rare in practice. And again, if you want to visualize this concept, you can open the solar system map, and the solar system map will show you the area which is included in the directional scanner with the angle shorter than 360 degrees. And the same logic applies. The detectable objects will be highlighted with like a green circles, and non-detectable objects will be grayed out. So you can very easily see what objects are included in this sharp angle D-scan and what objects are excluded. Let's talk about the most common D-scan uses. The D-scan is used either defensively or offensively. The most common use for defensive D-scan is to get the advanced warning of potential hostile ships. For example, you can just set up your D-scan at a maximum angle and the maximum range, and just regularly check what's going on in this area, and you will see if any new ships appeared or if there are any combat probes. And you can also then just play with a range slider and see if these ships and probes are close to you or far away. So this just gives you the advanced warning of anything that can happen around you. And there are an offensive use of D-scan as well. You can use it to scout and hunt targets because the D-scan allows you to see if there is anyone in this general area in the system. Where are they? Maybe at a specific planet or a specific anomaly. So you can figure out where the targets are and maybe even get a warping on them without combat probes or anything like this, if they are located at some warpable object. Similarly, you can catch people at warpable celestials. So for example, mining ships at asteroid belts or mining anomalies, PvE ships at combat anomalies, industrials at customs office, and so on. Maybe some ships on the gates. There are many possible uses here. And a bit of a more advanced topic, especially relevant for cloaked hunters. You can use D-scan to figure out where the general area where the target ship is located, So we figured out that it's not at the warpable celestial. Let's say it's doing some DED site somewhere, and you need to drop probably combat probes to locate this ship and get a warping result. And if you just start scanning the system in general, you will need like 3 or maybe 4 full scans to get a scan result. And it's a very long time. The ship that is inside this complex will probably see your combat probes, and he will simply warp out before you can get 100% scan result. So in these situations, you can use dscan to kind of figure out the area, the general area where the target ship is. For example, you can see that this ship is like 2 AU from planet 1. And then you can drop your probes far away from the dscan range of this ship, move them directly on the planet 1, and then just click scan. And you will get the warping result after like 1 scan. And it will give the target significantly smaller window to react, to see your combat probes and to react to it. So as I said, it's a bit of an advanced topic, but it's quite often used in like scouting and hunting. As I said, for the defensive dscan, the typical settings are maximum angle, 360 degrees, maximum range. You just click the dscan like once 30 seconds, once every minute, which is why it's useful to have it binded on a specific hotkey, because you just want to do your stuff and occasionally just check the dscan with a hotkey. And you will see ships, combat probes, and other stuff. Even clocked ships, if they jump in the system, they must unclock to switch from gate clock to co-ops clock. And if you check your dscan regularly, you will see them kind of appear on the dscan and then disappear again. And it may give you some advanced warning as well. And also remember that dscan works during both clocking and gate clocking. So you can jump in the system and you will have a full minute to see what's actually going on while you are completely invulnerable and undetectable. This is very typical use of dscan in areas of space that have local delayed or disabled. So Pochven, Wormhole, and I think Zarzach. These 3. The event. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Correct. Thank you. Yeah, and local is disabled as well, as far as I remember. Yeah, so it's correct. Only Pochven and Wormhole. Offensive dscan. Here you the efficiency of this process generally depends on your experience. You can figure out, you can use the dscan offensively to figure out where the potential targets are. So a couple of examples that I mentioned earlier. Mining barges typically will be at the mining anomalies or at the asteroid belts. So if you see on the dscan, like let's say Covetor or Makinov, the first thing that you want to double check with short angle dscan is the mining anomalies that are present on the system and asteroid belts. And if you see, let's say, an Epiphal, which is the industrial ship used to move planetary interaction, you firstly check all the customs offices within the range of your dscan, and so on. So you will generally, with experience, you will be able to fairly quickly understand the specific objects that you need to check to see if these specific ships are present there or not. This is it for the lecture part. I will turn off the screen share right now, and I will switch to if, and when we will have like a 10 to 15 minutes practical part where I will show you how everything works within a game. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask while I change between two windows.